In this video, we'll talk through how to approach Edexcel English Language Paper 2, Question 7b. To do that, we'll look at extracts from a couple of student responses to a set question. So remember, you can pause the video at any point if you need time to read through what's on screen. Paper 2, Question 7b examines Assessment Objective 3, your ability to compare writers' ideas and perspectives and how they convey them. For this question, you need to make sure that you know the focus of the question and that you can identify what the main thoughts and viewpoints about that focus are in the two texts. In this example, the question is, compare how the writers of Text 1 and Text 2 present ideas and perspectives about people in dangerous situations. This means that you can look at any of the people involved, the government, the civilians, or even the reporters themselves. You're trying to compare the writer's thoughts, feelings, beliefs, or attitudes about these people. Now, let's look at an extract from Student A's response to this question. Press pause now to give yourself time to read it through, and then press play again when you're ready. This response met the criteria for Level 3, the middle level of the mark scheme. To get into Level 3 on this question, you need to provide enough comparisons to be classed as a range. Student A's response does include a range of valid comparisons, in this case 3, but we're just looking at an example of one of them. The student uses comparative words such as both and similarly to help highlight to the examiner where they're comparing. They also clearly explain the ideas and viewpoints of the writers by discussing things like how sympathy is created and how the specific writer feels. Using words like opinion and also feels help to show the writer's ideas and perspectives and help to keep the student focused on the question. However, the points made by this student are quite a simple explanation with not much detail, and the start of the third paragraph shows that they're leaping onto a completely separate point rather than developing and exploring the ideas within the text. Let's compare this with an extract from Student B's response. Press pause now to give yourself time to read it through, and press play again when you're ready. Okay, this shows a much more developed and detailed analysis of how the writer's ideas and perspectives are shown. For example, the point about both writers blaming authority figures is a really insightful idea, which moves beyond the simple arguments of the first response to a more comprehensive point. This student also sustains their discussion about what the writers are trying to do and what they feel and believe. Notice how frequently this student makes reference to the ideas and feelings of the writers in order to keep their response focused on the question. They also demonstrate an understanding of the impact the writer's use of language and theme will have on the way different readers interpret the text. We can see this in phrases like heightens the feelings of danger and making them seem responsible. This response meets the criteria for a Level 5, which is 12 to 14 marks out of 14. We'll leave it there. Hopefully you can see the difference between the two responses. To recap our top tips for this question, you need to include at least 3 valid comparisons between the texts. Use a balance of evidence from both texts. Use comparative and connective words and phrases. And talk about the writer's ideas and points of view about the specific focus of the question. It's a great idea to get some practice in before the exam, so why not try some past papers and see how you do with AO3? You could have a go using the question and text in our Edexcel style example paper attached to this pod. Good luck!